Good morning and welcome to day 7 of the 365-day pottery challenge. Today I'm excited for day 2 of the plate making fiesta. We are going to trim this plate that we made yesterday, and trimming plates is one of the coolest things, so I'm really excited. So let's dive in. We have our plate from yesterday. This has been out drying all day and all night. So it's been about 20 hours probably. I dried it right side up for about 12 hours. Then I recut it to make sure it was free from the bat. And then we'll take another bat and sandwich it like this. And then squeeze together and slowly flip it over. Then your plate will still be a little tightly stuck because they're still kind of wet, so you're going to have to kind of hold it here and do a little prying like this, and eventually you might need to go around, but eventually it'll just kind of peel off like that. Okay, then that bat is done, and you're going to leave it to dry. So I left it to dry like this for another 12 hours or so, well, 8 or 10 hours. And now it's a nice leather, hard. You can see I can't smear it by just rubbing on it, but you can still easily indent it, right? And it's almost getting a little dry, and it's freezing outside, so I'm going to have to get on it. So first things first, of course, affix your bat to your wheel. Make sure things are spinning. Beautiful. Okay, now we will recenter like we do with bowls and mugs, anything we're trimming on the wheel. Use the lines first, and this plate is pretty centered and pretty even, so it should go pretty easily. And then we can start it spinning slowly. And I can see actually that looks almost perfect, but we'll check anyway. Remember, not stabbing straight in, but kind of a light feathery touch with the spinning of the wheel. And we'll just go in until we're close. Oh, that's nice. So that's leaving a line all the way around. It might be a little lighter right here, so maybe I'll just try and go a hair, but we're really splitting hairs, literally. Beautiful. Okay. Now we're going to take. Oh well, let's anchor it first. Grab some clay. Remember to use some fresh clay. This clay is almost too fresh. It's a little wet. I'm just going to work it a little bit to sort of take some of that moisture out of it. Okay. Oh, I just about fell down. It's getting slick out here. It's very cold today. We've had some melty days. Now we're back to being cold. So I have a little bit of a bat issue here. I am going to have to make some bigger bats for this portable wheel. But I can still squeeze these in here. I'm going to use a little longer chunk of clay because that's how it goes, because I need a little more support. Rotate that around a third of the way. Another thing I really like to do with plates is to use a foam bat. And it's just a regular bat like this with a layer of foam, maybe a ½ inch thick, glued onto it. And then you just take your plate and you just set it right onto the foam, and it sort of sticks to the foam. You get it recentered, and then you're off and trimming. You don't have to even anchor it. And you can do that with wide bowls as well. And it's really sweet. It's a really sweet setup. But I don't have a foam bat with me currently, so that's not happening. But this is really a good technique for you to learn. And hopefully I'll make a foam bat soon and have it set up for this wheel. And then I can show you how that works, because it's really my favorite. because anchoring is probably one of the most annoying parts of doing pots, trimming pots on the wheel. Okay, we're anchored, we're centered, we're spinning. I already checked the depth of this. It's pretty thick, as you probably recall. I left it thick, which is good. We're going to take a lot of the weight off of here. Come in with a foot. Probably put the foot in fairly far, just to add some delicacy to it. Delicacy, that sounds like food. Some delicateness, maybe? Delicatessen? Now I'm really messing it up. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to spin pretty fast, medium speed. And I'm just going to decide where I want that foot. I'm going to mark an outside spot first. And then I'm going to mark an inside spot and just kind of see what we've got. That'll work. I could go in a little further. Stop the wheel so you can kind of see. Yeah, I could go in a little further, but I think I'm okay with that. That's pretty good. Okay, and we're going to go to medium speed again. And we're just going to go, I can use this round guy, why not? Go start in the center. It's a little drier. Just while I was setting up out here, things got drier. Hey, one thing to notice. Notice how when I go in the center, it takes a long time for me to cut much. But when I'm out here, it's cutting super fast, right? That's because the outside moves faster than the inside, right? It's got further to travel. So, something to keep in mind, you can even play with the speed, especially if you have a pedal. Gotta get down to this. Okay. I'm going to speed it up for the center, just for fun. Just to get things going a little faster. There, those are good curly cues. And you can just release them. And then I'll slow it down as I get further out, because it's spinning fast. Hopefully it's okay for me to say this. One of my students got really good at trimming and was making these really beautiful curls, and her name is Jody, and everyone started calling these Jody curls. So, and it just stuck. And every time they see somebody in the class making beautiful trimming curls, they call them Jody curls. What's going on here? That's a little uneven. Is that just me? Might be. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's stop real quick so you can see what I've done. I'm taking off one layer coming out to the foot, right? And I'm just going to continue to do that, and then I'm going to jump out here and take off a bunch of this weight. But again, we can go a little faster in the center because it takes more. It takes more time to get the rotations right. Uh-oh. Roger sees a deer, and he's very excited about it. And he wants everyone to know that there's a deer stalking us. And if you recall, we made this plate fairly flat. So if I had done a really curved plate, then I would kind of follow that contour here. And I'll do a little bit of that, but not too much, because again, it's pretty flat. Yeah, this is a little drier than I would like. Just a hair, but that's okay. I mean, it's not too dry, but it's kind of coming off in, well, the curls are dry. They're really dry. It's more satisfying when they're a little softer and they just come off really smoothly. And also maybe you can hear the grinding. that's the grog in the clay basically wearing down my tool is what's happening. And this tool already isn't that sharp. See, I'm just moving back and forth, kind of finding the sharp edges of the clay, and because those are the easiest to trim off. And I just have this sand here. Well, you can brace this too, although I'm bracing on the, what's the word for this thing? If you could talk, you would tell me. Oh my gosh, I cannot think of the word. The basin? The catch basin? The tub? What is it called? The splash pan. Oh my gosh. You know, it's been a really rough week. And ironically, I've been thinking about how this pottery challenge of throwing outside was going to be stressful and hard and frustrating at times. And what I've found recently, anyway, so far, is that it's the highlight of my day. And hauling all of my gear out here and dragging extension cords and dealing with the weather pales in comparison to life in the middle of a pandemic. So, there's that. Pottery for the win. And you can see I made a thick plate. Oh, I messed up a little right there. That's all right. I'll get back to it and fix it. Maybe this round guy. Got to even that out. I let the clay bump me, and I made a bad groove. Then you kind of got to get back to it and get stabilized again. Too much talking about real life, that's the problem. Real life and pottery don't mix. Just kidding. Pottery is life. All right. I'm filling up my splash pan. Gotta shift some of this around. Get out of the way. And remember I was saying, like, do your trimming when your wheel is dry so that it's easier to clean up. And that holds true for today. Alright, you can see the progress. We've got a nice little indent. We're starting to see a foot coming out. It seems like one side of this foot is higher. Maybe if I turn it like this, you can see. This side's pretty flat. Maybe I cut it a little funny or something, but that's okay. We'll come back and we'll kind of even the foot at the end. And we'll speed up again. We go back into the center. I like this round guy. Probably because it's sharper. If you go to a public studio or like a shared art space and you're using their tools, you will notice that these are often, well, actually you can maybe see if I hold it in the right spot. Hopefully I'm holding it in the right spot. I'll try a couple spots just to make sure. You'll notice that there's a little curve to that. That means it's getting dull. I don't have another one on hand, so I'm stuck with it. But often I'll use a different part, like this part tends to not get very dull because people don't think to use it, even though it's one of the best tools, right? Holding it like this. So it'll be sharper a lot of the time. This rounded part is often sharper too. Or you can, of course, bring your own tools or just buy a new sharp tool or whatever. But those are just some little tricks. Just look at the tool and see if it looks all rounded off, then it's dull. Alright, we could do more. This is a thick plate. And I'm not afraid of a plate that has a little heft, but there's also no reason to leave a bunch of excess material on the pot. Oh, that's making nice little curly wafers. Whee! Okay. Slow it down a little for the outside here. There we go. Those are Jody curls. I love to just be able to brush it off like this. You know it's too wet if these curls stick back to your pot. And you know it's too dry if they turn into crumbs like they're doing right now. No, this is actually fine. It's just a hair dry. So I'm trying to give you a sense of that because it's really important. And it takes some getting used to monitoring your pottery to get it to the right dryness. It just takes some experience. But if you know what you're looking for, yeah, see how that's starting to crumble off? We don't want that. We want those awesome little spirally curls that you saw a minute ago. Like that. And they should stick together and you should be able to pull the whole huge spirally curl out of the splash pan. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Maybe the deer will come visit and I'll get a picture for you. Roger sure sees them, but I don't. Okay, one little talking point. When you're using these anchors, which is a nice argument for the foam bat system, is that you can only get down here so far without hitting the anchors. And I suppose that I could probably roll them out of the way, right, if I want to, because I want to blend this transition in where I've kind of carved it in. So I could push these out of the way. But it's just something to really be aware of. It gets kind of messy when your carving tool hits these because it smears the soft clay into your pot, and that is no good. So I'll just try some gentle transitioning here, hopefully without hitting that. Something like that. Yeah, that's not so bad. Subtle. Okay. Where are we now? Sometimes you have to take the plate off and just check it. But I feel like I know where we're at, so I'm just going to keep going. Should have put this video on a time lapse, huh? This is going to be a long one. Hopefully you're just kind of like, hopefully you're watching this as you're going to sleep or something. And this can just be your meditation. Notice I've busted out the sharp or the long end of the tool. I'm just being really gentle because I've told you like a million times, right, not to use that except toward the end when you're going to start kind of refining your shape and just smoothing everything. So I'm using really gentle pressure because this is definitely the way to hook it and launch this thing. Oh, I see the deer now. Alright, I gotta try and get you a picture of that. I'll try to make a deer moment. It's actually looking at my dog. It's got his number. I'm going to try and get a shot here. Here's your deer friend, Roger. There's one. Usually they like to taunt Roger. They come stand right over here by the fence, just to let him know who's boss. It's pretty great. Okay, let's get back to pottery. Oh, what a bummer. I just ran over to get a picture of the deer and I was recording and the camera died. So I'm gonna get back to this and show you the rest of the process here. I'm gonna take a little more weight off here and then we're gonna call it good. Clearly things are getting dry. That's why you hear that whistling noise or squeaking noise. Trying to get a little bit aggressive here because it's pretty heavy still. I just really want to take off some weight and lighten this thing up. There we go. Couple final refinements here. Okay. I like to take just a dash of water. I'm going to use my sponge to get this damp. Then I'm just going to use my finger. I try not to use the sponge to actually press on it because it will take the slip off and it'll kind of leave that grog. We don't want the grog. So that buffs it using your finger. Makes it smooth. There we go. Now we have the plate finished. Put your name in it. And it's done. Let me pull it off the wheel and show you that. Gotta make sure you have dry hands. There we go. Oh, I I sprayed a little water. You don't want to do that. Okay. There we go. Now we just have a little light plate. There we go. So that's how to trim a plate on the wheel. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're enjoying this series, please do all the things, subscribe, like, share, make your friends watch it, that kind of thing. But I really appreciate you being here and being on this journey with me. We're only at like a week, and I got 365 days, and I have a lot of projects that I'm excited about demonstrating and just fun things that we're going to do on the pottery wheel. So I will see you tomorrow. Good morning and welcome to day 6. I'm not going to be able to do that for very much longer. Is it day 6? Shoot, I can't even remember. I'm trying too hard now. What a dumb little plate. Really? Did I just leave that ledge there? That's dumb. Or is it? Maybe I like it. Maybe it needs to go back on the wheel. I don't know. At least it's flat. That was the goal. Flat plates. I don't know. Don't know if I like it.